Welcome back to another night of Stick with Koolfrogg. It feels good to actually be back doing this full time and not actually have some place that I need to be because man tells me I need to be there. Feels good. Feels good. I'm glad that I'm here. And I currently have Jimmy YouTube. We're going to cover a few things before he decides he needs to take off. Hopefully, America Shirts can show up at some point in time. I'll chant for him. Let's go, America Shirts.
You
America Shirts, where are you?
got to do it 3 times, man.
America Shirts. Let's go. So, you know, doing a bunch of digging around today because this is a regular episode of Stick with Koolfrogg. Thinking about it, we always try opening holidays with information about the holiday. Today is President's Day. We'll read a little split from History Channel about President's Day, and then we'll move on to some more newsworthy
Things.
Right. Since President's Day is a federal holiday celebrated on the third Monday in February, President's Day 2023 will occur February 20th. Originally established in 1885 in recognition of President George Washington, the holiday became popularly known as President's Day after it was moved as part of the 1971 Uniform Monday Holiday Act in an attempt to create more 3-day weekends for the nation's workers. While several states still have individual holidays honoring the birthdays of Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and other figures, President's Day is only popularly viewed as a day to celebrate all U.S. presidents, past and present. Um, which is interesting that it started off as being something to celebrate the first president of George Washington to only go ahead and uh, popularize it and actually start celebrating all presidents. Let's do that. Let's celebrate all of our presidents except for maybe a couple of them that we know are corrupt.
All of them except the ones we don't like.
Right. So then the Uniform Monday Holiday Act in 1971ish or whatever it was, when they actually set that up, they actually did a bunch of things. They tried moving a lot of holidays around. There's a couple holidays that they did, successfully move to a Monday, like President's Day. There's other holidays that they tried to move, like Veterans Day, which it got changed back. If you remember, we were covering Veterans Day not so long ago, back in November. It's really interesting how the federal government has tried to make things work in their favor because if they can create a 3-day weekend, they've really stopped businesses from shutting down in midweek, which can cause production flows to be constrained and whatnot. So you really uh, them trying to move it to a uniform Monday was something I don't really find necessary. Oh, look at that. Leslie Kohler for $20 says, "Hi, Frog. Hello, Leslie. Good to see you. Glad
What's up,
you're here."
Leslie?
So, it's just a little blurb just to kind of kick it off so everybody understands a little bit about President's Day. Um, because it's President's Day, we're gonna get to this next few things here real quick. It says Jimmy Carter, which was the 39th U.S. president, enters hospice care at home. So, and this guy is so old. Uh, Probably one of the more influential, maybe, depending on who you talk to. Some people
Infamous, more like it.
some people didn't. Right. uh, It does say that he's the longest lived American president. He has entered
Hey,
home
Div.
in hospice in Plains, Georgia. He's no longer living in his home. He's too old. He needs assistance. The mini press. Yeah. Biden is a giant next to him, of course. After a series of short hospital stays, the statement says that Carter decided to spend his remaining time at home with his family and receive hospice care instead of additional medical intervention. Uh, because they're cutting off medical intervention and they're just giving them in-home care, that usually, and that's not always, usually says something about their state and that there potentially could be um,
They just want
close,
him out of the way. He knows too much. They're like,
close, right,
hey, we
close
gotta
to
just
on
let
the
this
way
guy
out.
go.
Let's just get this guy out of here.
Yeah,
We don't want
he's
him
all done.
anymore.
We don't need him saying things.
So like it says that he bid for presidency ahead in 1976 election. Now, me personally, being 45, wasn't born until 1977. Um, remember, my first president that I remember was actually Ronald Reagan, but actually would have been Carter would have been around when I was first born, and kind of interesting to see how long this guy's been around. He's like, that's a long freaking time. I
Well,
would
let's see.
not want to live 98 years old. No way.
1996. So that would be what? Billy Clinton there, huh?
Say
Is
what?
that about right? I said 1996. The president would be Bill Clinton, right?
96? Yeah,
Yeah.
this is 76. This is Carter.
No, I
That's
know.
a-
I was saying like that's the president that would have been around when I was born.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Right when I was graduating high school. This
What a
kid
world!
says,
What a
you're
world!
talking? It's time to talk. Let's all talk. Thank you, Jack. Carter served a single tumultuous term of defeated the Republican Ronald Reagan in 1980, a landslide loss that ultimately paved the way for decades of global advocacy for democracy, public health, and human rights via the Carter Center. The former president and his wife, Rosalind, 95, opened up the center in 1982. His work was garnered a Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. Now, it seems as though as they want to actually uh, while he's still alive, to actually memorialize him. They want to memorialize him first before he actually goes, so that way he can actually see that he was actually being memorialized. It's kind of strange. It sounds like they're actually going to build a statue for him. Good thing we took down a whole bunch of Democratic statues to put up some more Democratic statues. Sounds great.
Sounds a little redundant, if you ask me.
Uh-huh. So, it's just a little blurb about President's Day and a president who looks like he's about ready to go away. Let's see. I should have woke up about a half hour before I did. That would have been great.
Half hour after, you mean?
No, before I actually did, because I haven't been up long enough. My brain's
Oh.
still not triggered. So, there you go. Trains. We've covered trains in the last few episodes in depth for this East Palestine stuff. So it looks like Benny Johnson gives $20,000 to East Palestine residents affected by toxic train derailment. your angels, one woman told Johnson. So you can see Benny Johnson standing in East Palestine, Ohio, and he's like, "Where is Biden?" It seems as though as most of it didn't actually occur. It's like uh, president doesn't really care, and you got people like Benny Johnson that's willing to actually go out there and try helping out as much as he possibly can.
And they're gonna
So,
try to memory hold this, just like they did with the Flint, Michigan waters. You know.
right. For $9.99, Mistress Meg says Samurai Tadpole Snack Fun. Thank you so much. Awesome. Um, Article says in a video posted on YouTube on Sunday, conservative commentator Benny Johnson visited East Palestine, giving the residents who live closest to the train that derailed earlier this month $1,000 each. Really?
What's that gonna do? Help them clean their windows?
I mean, for a guy like Benny Johnson just to go out there and be like, here you go, $1,000 each. I mean, $1,000 can be enough for somebody could be enough for somebody to actually stand up, walk out of this town, and go, set up something somewhere else, go find a job, and start living. So I mean, $1,000 can be helpful. Um, Being that it come from Benny Johnson as opposed to the U.S. government, it's kind of disturbing because we give our money to Ukraine instead. It says, "Welcome to East Palestine, Ohio. It's a sweet, patriotic community. 5,000 people live here. They have homes here. Their children go to school here. There's playgrounds, businesses, restaurants, and all. There's also train tracks that run through the center of town. Now, on the train track, there was a massive derailment a couple of days ago." Johnson began. Um, Chemicals spilled into the air and into the water and into the soils. These people have to live with that now forever. Worse yet, the government came along and then lit it on fire, sending a black toxic plume of smoke directly into the atmosphere. And then they told everyone to go back to their homes. Everything's safe. But there's been no reassurance, Johnson continued. Johnson added that since the derailment at the time of the filming of the video, the railroad responsible for the derailment, Norfolk Southern, has given residents just $5. We think that's wrong. And so we're here today. We've identified the 20 homes closest to the toxic burn. We're going to walk up to those homes. We're going to hand them $1,000 and we're going to say, "We're sorry this happened to you. You don't need the government to come in and save us and help us out. We, the American people, can help each other out," Johnson said. An act of giving began when the 5 homes closest to the railroad, with Johnson noting that these houses can be seen and burned remains of the train on the backyards. Can you?
He's talking about Ohio back there. Boom, 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 boom.
Right. A man named Smiley spoke with Johnson, who lives in one of the houses, stating that no one has come to help. They're all hiding. Smiley has been helped. They're all hiding? Really? So- That's crazy. Why are they hiding? Smiley has been helping others in his town, saying if they need something, if I have the ability to give it to them, I do. Smiley said that the money would help out a lot. Johnson spoke to another younger man who said that he was in the middle of moving out and didn't have time to talk. When handed the envelope of cash, he replied gratefully, stating that the money would help for his first month of rent in a location away from the train wreckage. Another woman stated that her life had been turned upside down due to the train derailment and that she had spent nearly $150 on cleaning supplies for her home. But, and more concerned about the elderly in the area and disabled, they can't clean their house top to bottom. She likes many. She, like many others, has was extremely grateful to be given the money. God bless you guys for helping people, another woman told Johnson. One woman told Johnson that the train derailment in the aftermath was weighing in her mind, not just her body, noting that that a cough has appeared in the time since. Your angels, she said. Some residents were reluctant to take the money, asking if there were strings attached to taking it, while others said that they didn't need the money and said that they would pay it forward to residents that need the money more. Honestly, in the last 10 days, it's been hard to trust folks. One man said, I will pay it forward absolutely. There's a lot of people who need like diapers and water and stuff. One woman said, there's something else that needs it more than me. One man said as he attempted to give the money back. How about you pay it forward? Because you know this community more than um, because you know this community more than I do, Johnson said, handing the envelope back to him. The power of helping out your fellow Americans, uh, man, it's beautiful. People are crying, people are hugging us, and it feels good. Johnson said at the end of the video, revealing that the money given to residents of East Palestine came from the ad money generated by his videos. Johnson's visit to East Palestine comes as the Biden administration and Federal Emergency Management Agency has denied aid to Ohio, stating that the state is not eligible for assistance at this time. You know, and it's interesting that they're actually going back and actually saying that they're denying it still. When
Nope.
we just read last week that they're actually going to actually be there and actually do something. They actually did say they were going to help. Um,
See, now they're saying they will again, but only after Trump said that he was going to come over there.
yep, yep, that's what I'm saying. It was like last week here, they actually FEMA did come out and say they were actually going to assist. It's kind of odd that this article actually says that they're still not going to assist. Um, I think they should actually, open up their eyes a little bit and actually get out there, go assist. Let's see, and this article's from today. And that's the part that's interesting that it still says that, even though we had just read something saying the opposite. Um, back to where I was. Late last week, the Biden administration defended the agency's decision with an official stating that they are mobilizing a robust multi agency effort to support the peoples of East Palestine, Ohio, and that FEMA is coordinating with an emergency operations center working closely with the Ohio Emergency Management Agency. However, what East Palestine needs is much more expansive than what FEMA can provide. The official continued FEMA is on the front lines when a hurricane or a tornado. Situation is different. On February 3rd, the Norfolk Southern train, it's going to like recover what we actually know um, about the Norfolk Southern train uh, carrying chemicals like vinyl chloride and that got dumped into our atmosphere, potentially causing more harm in the long run. Try kicking along here. I got like 30 some articles.
Dude, the one in Philly, the most recent one. Talk about that one with the pipe bomb, the 18-inch one.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there real quick here. So let's see here. So you can see from that particular from the East Palestine one, you see people are actually complaining that they're breaking out in rashes. They got reports of headaches and other toxic chemical after the toxic chemical explosion.
Itchy eyes too.
There is a video down below or whatever, and I'm really not sure if you even want to show it because it really does show um, this contaminant actually is like melting people's skin, giving them rashes and stuff. It's really kind of very disgusting and gross to actually think that something like that actually occurred.
I guess you can't even use the water to bathe.
No, right? Gross. So then it seems as though since that occurred, been several other instances of uh, train derailments or attempts to derail trains. So then this is an article that Jimmy actually found this morning and was actually wanting to cover with me. So this is 18-inch pipe bomb found behind Holmesburg Church near railroad tracks. So I mean it is kind of interesting in itself. So it says Philadelphia police are investigating after a pipe bomb was reportedly discovered behind a church in Holmesburg. Philadelphia police source told Fox 29 an 18-inch pipe bomb was found Sunday just after 1:30 behind the St. Dominic's Catholic Church in the 8,500 block of Frankfurt Avenue, Philadelphia's Holmesburg section. Officials said the passerby found a pipe bomb and noted that the PVC pipe with capped ends and black powder on it. Police
What's up,
shut
Rabbit?
down.
The White Rabbit, I mean.
White Rabbit, what's up? Police shut down Frankfurt Avenue between Benson, Blackston, while the Philadelphia police bomb squad was called to the scene. The bomb squad safely took the pipe bomb out of harm's way. No further details were released of the incident. So now this is the conversation that we had earlier. Was if there's an 18-inch pipe bomb found on the railroad tracks in this particular town. Who owned the railroad tracks? Did you ever find out?
No, I did not. I did not.
You did not. Okay, no, that's fine. So to maybe do some research in the next few days here or whatever, and see if we can't get a little bit more information about it.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people talking about this after they're done with the Project Veritas stuff.
I mean, and I noticed that there's some Project Veritas stuff. I'm just like, everybody's going to cover Project Veritas. I'm not covering Project Veritas.
Literally everyone.
Literally everyone. I'm like, okay. But the interesting about this pipe bomb is who owned the railroad tracks that this is laying on? What kind of stuff would be hauled through the area? Was there an attempt to actually, cause more harm than what has already been caused? I mean, there's more train derailments so far this year than
so many things like immediately popped into our heads when this started happening.
Yeah, right.
And we figured, who do we know that usually targets churches? And geez, this thing didn't work. So you got to figure the exact time. You got to figure the forensics of it. I bet they could figure that out, right?
So I did do a little bit of research on this.
You did?
Yeah, I had to. I couldn't just do a small article. So here, 18-inch pipe bomb discovered near Conrail tracks in Northeast Philadelphia. So the 18-inch pipe bomb was discovered behind the church in Holmesburg. The bomb was found Sunday afternoon in St. Dominic's Catholic Church and the 8,000 block or 8,500 block of Frankfurt Avenue. One Twitter account of the location of the bomb pinned it to train tracks behind the church. The bomb was near the Conrail rail tracks in Philadelphia's Holmesburg section. Police have discovered an 18-inch pipe bomb on the train tracks. So then you can kind of see, according to this map, whatever, you can see that there's these tracks that cut through town. And they're saying that it was actually found on the tracks, not necessarily on the church property. It just so happened to be nearest to the church. It is discovered that passersby and pointed out to police who confirmed that the PVC pipe with capped ends and black powder on it. Frankfurt Avenue between Benson and Blackston was shut down in Philadelphia. Bomb squad was called to the scene. The bomb was eventually disarmed and taken away, transported by a Holmesburg section of the city of bomb squad headquarters. Additional information has not yet been released, but we will update the article when it becomes available. So you can see not much more information. It's really kind of
Hush, hush.
strange how there's the lack of information when it comes to this particular situation.
Yeah,
Really
crazy that
kind of
there's nothing, you know. Can you hear me okay?
yes.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff.
So I mean, it's the only thing that this article said over the last one was this is the Conrail railroad tracks. So Conrail, when you actually look up Conrail on that, it says just a local rail service provider. So it's just a local trains that run on that for the most. It's you're gonna have some passers, but it seems as though Conrail owns the particular section of rail for moving stuff from one side of town to the next. You know, usually from like industrial zones into like a rail yard of sorts before other trains come through and pick up those cars and ship them out. Um,
Man, what
this is
happened to people that used to map all this kind of stuff out, you know?
and that's kind of what I was trying to do. I was trying to actually find some interesting information to go along with who owned the tracks, what kind of stuff they
Mm-hmm.
would actually potentially be uh, shipping around. Since this Conrail history starts as a Penn Central bankruptcy in 1970, a collapse and upset the entire railroad industry. Something had to be done. Penn Central could not simply be liquidated. It operated one third of the nation's passenger trains and the principal freight carrier in the Northeast. Uh, Without PC, the industries in the area would die. Penn Central's management proposed reorganizing under certain conditions, abandonment of 45% of its tracks, reduction of its workforce, and increased payment on operating Amtrak trains, but there's no confidence in PC management. Carving up PC and parceling it out to its neighbors was out of the question. PC's western neighbors wanted nothing to do with the railroad, and its eastern neighbors had problems of their own. The Central Railroad in of New Jersey had been bankrupt since 1967. Neither Chesapeake, Ohio, nor Norfolk or Western wanted the Lehigh Valley. It entered bankruptcy on June 4th, 1970, 3 days after Penn Central. The reading entered bankruptcy November 23rd, 1971. The creation of Erie, Lackawanna in Penn Central changed traffic patterns, leaving the Lehigh Hudson River with almost no business. So it seems as though this local tract owned by Conrail is really just an old railroad track that isn't really used anymore.
That particular part of it, or that is that part that you're looking at sectioned off?
The part that's in this town that's owned by Conrail seems to be for local traffic only. So it's like a spur. Like they're pushing trains from one side of town to the next into a yard where somebody else will come and pick them up and ship them in and out of the region or whatever. So it really interesting that it's on a local line as opposed to it being on like an actual corridor of track that would actually shoot you in and through some areas. Um, the only thing left to really do to actually, and I didn't have a chance to, I really didn't, would be to actually look into what kind of businesses are in this particular town and what kind of stuff would actually being shipped from one side of town to the next to see if somebody putting a pipe bomb on the tracks would have actually caused a train to derail if the trains would have been moving fast enough. Because if it's just a local line, it really wouldn't move that fast. they usually move them at slow speeds across town. Uh, you don't want to get yourself up to a high speed while you're going to slow it down again. It takes so long for trains to slow as it is. It's it's really strange. It's really strange that I think this is just a more of a coincidence than it is actual um, somebody trying to do something. That's what I think. I could be totally wrong. I'm sure we're going to hear more information about this within the next few days to go along with it to um, keep us up to date. I'm sure
Yeah, I don't
there's
want it
not
to
going to
get
be else.
buried.
Right. So we will be paying attention to this particular incident in Philadelphia, and hopefully we can actually get some more information about who, why, and if it was anything to do with all this other stuff that we're currently dealing with.
How do we not know the who? I thought we had like top level investigators and all kinds of homeland security and all this to protect us from this kind of crap, right? Like this shouldn't happen. Where's all that money going? And for what?
Um, for all those that are actually listening, so I see P Beaver's actually sitting over in Rumble by himself. Says, "Hello, Rumblers. Johnson has just performed a publicity stunt and tried sending transport geography. I don't know what this is that he tried sending. I'm going to see if I can't pull this up quick. And we really didn't really say hi to our audience like we have the normal tendency to do. We should probably go back through and actually do that.
Yeah, dude. The expert was
Actually,
here. You didn't? I think I said hi. I might have just seen him, dude. The expert. What's up, dog? Then Juju B is here.
Koolfrogg, actually look at the chat and actually tell me if you have anything to actually talk more about. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what they're saying to me. Apparently, I must be repeating myself. So I'm going to go back here real quick before we move on. And I'm going to say hi to everybody because we just didn't do that. So it looked like, let's see, Andrea, Heidi, Darth Hideous, Linda Drescher,
Meet
Divinity,
cool.
Leslie Kohler. That's who started this. Let's see.
Melissa Jane.
Darth
What up, Mel?
Hideous. Mistress Meg joined us. That was one of the donations.
Man, you Australians travel in packs.
Grim Spa.
Good everybody.
To be. Hello. Welcome. Glad you're here.
John D.
John D's in the house. What is this? A mod convention? Not necessarily. Madcore Mofo. What is up, brother? Good to see you. Cake. Got lots of people here. This is fun. I love it. Jujubee. The White Rabbit. Wow. Expert. What's up, Expert? Good to see you. Tweety US News is here. Wow. We got a bunch of people in the house. We should have started saying hi right at the beginning. $15 from Leslie Kohler says cover up? Maybe. I don't know. Don't know.
Anti at Jack says at Koolfrogg, Law Parachute, circus tent.
What a circus that we live in. Yes.
Indeed, indeed.
Members of the Imperial Army. So, that's a lot of noise. Couple of stories that I had kind of hit on early this morning before we start hitting on anything else. There's quite a bit of stuff to do today. Was this now? It seems as though they've actually arrested a suspect in the case. Kind of disturbing in itself. Um, what it was. So this is suspect arrested in fatal shooting in California. Bishop David O'Connell. This is a suspect linked to a woman who access to Bishop's Hacienda Heights home. Law enforcement says um, to link to a woman who had access.
Oh, dude,
Yes.
it's spicy.
It's spicy.
Yeah, Miami Spices in chat.
Miami Spice, how you doing? This is a suspect that's been arrested in a fatal shooting in Bishop David O'Connell, Archdiocese of LA, who is unalived in his home in Hacienda Heights. The California-based auxiliary bishop was shot unalived on Saturday afternoon when law enforcement announcing the arrest of suspect on Monday. Law enforcement responded to the home following an emergency medical call at around 1 p.m. on Saturday and discovered the Roman Catholic bishop wounded by a gunshot. He was pronounced unalive at the scene. A member of law enforcement said Bishop O'Connell was found unalive in his bed with one wound alone, one gunshot wound. He lived alone in the home and owned in the home owned by the archdiocese. Neighbors said that they didn't hear any gunshots or other unusual sounds before the emergency service arrived. Several
Whoa.
members of law enforcement said no signs of forced entry had been found and that the unaliving isn't thought to be random, according to the report. One member of the law enforcement said that the suspect is a man who was detained in a Torrance and is linked to a woman who has access to the home. So, some insider thing or whatever, this woman actually allowed somebody into the home. He did what he did. Now, is she going to be found charged as well? Or is it just the guy that actually did it? It says on Monday morning, a Special Enforcement Bureau within the Sheriff's Department tweeted that the SWAT operation for an armed barricaded suspect in Torrance has concluded. Suspect in custody. Kenwood Avenue reopened, neighborhood safe. The department chose not to comment on the operation was connected to the death of the bishop. The press conference where the authorities will share further details on the arrest and the suspect were scheduled for 3 o'clock local time at 6 o'clock Eastern. Um, on Sunday, the Archbishop of L.A., the most Reverend Jose Gomez, said in a statement that we learned early this morning from the L.A. County Sheriff's Office that we have determined the death of the auxiliary bishop David O'Connell yesterday was a homicide. We are deeply disturbed and saddened by the news. Let us continue to pray for Bishop Dave and his family, and let us pray for law enforcement officials as they continue their investigation into the terrible crime. We ask our Blessed Mother Mary to intercede and be the mother of all of us in the moment of sadness and pain. And that's the Catholic side of things. Whatever, the mother. Mother Mary is a big instance in the Catholic community. Um, Archbishop Gomez said on Saturday that Bishop O'Connell spent 45 years in L.A. as a priest and bishop. He was 69. He
Oh,
was
nice.
yeah, right. He was a peacemaker with a heart for the poor and immigrant, and he had a passion for building a community where the sanctity and dignity of every human life was honored and protected. He was also a good friend. I will miss him greatly. I know we all will, says Archbishop Gomez. Bishop O'Connell was born in County Cork, Ireland, um, July 16th, 1953, according to the New York Times. He was made an auxiliary bishop in 2015, according to the Archdiocese of LA. This kid. In 1975, he earned a Bachelor's of Art in Philosophy and English Literature from the University College Dublin. He received a Bachelor of Divinity from Maynooth College in 1977. He, as well as a master's in spirituality in Mount St. Mary's College in 1987. He was ordained in 1979 after conducting the priesthood studies at All Hallows College in Dublin. He is associate pastor in Downey, Long Beach, Pico Riviera, before serving as pastor of several parishes around LA. Bishop Robert Barron initially met Bishop O'Connell in 2015 when they both ascended to the role. Bishop Barron told the New York Times that Bishop O'Connell cared especially for those affected by social and racial injustices and dedicated the majority of his priesthood to South Central LA. So
Huh.
it's right. It seems it's like, oh, really? So he was actually, you know, cared for that community. He actually took care of that community as much as he possibly could, and it seems
No,
as though
the comments
they
said,
didn't appreciate.
the comments said, "Child is still awake at midnight."
Yes, yes, he
I'm
is still
like,
awake at midnight. Why? Because when I went to go lay down earlier to take my nap, he decided to take a nap with me. So yep, he's awake. Um, In a statement, the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops and Bishop O'Connell was an active member of the conference and champion of the poor and marginalized. In July 2015, Bishop O'Connell told the Archdiocese of LA outlet that working for the South Central LA pastor had been a great joy of his life. It's been a great privilege and a great blessing and given the parish of these years, the pastor of all these years. The people have touched my heart the way they are sincere. He chaired the Southern California Immigration Task Force, coordinated a church's response to the spike of immigrants coming from Central America. Now, I'm really curious on this particular person that actually unalived him, who this is, if they actually knew who he was and what he was about, and if there's any kind of interesting, correlations on if he was supposed to maybe assist at some point in time, didn't, tried to, and something didn't work out. I'm sure we'll
maybe
hear
this is a
more.
Paul Pelosi kind of scenario. Who knows?
I mean, other than the fact that he's actually removed from the face of the planet, it's kind of disturbing.
Hey, that one came close too.
Right? Bishop O'Connell worked in the 1990s after the police beating of the Rodney King and the calm relations between residents and. Come on, dude. Just sitting there talking over me the whole time. Not you, my tadpole. He's just sitting there, just making so much noise. All I hear is him.
No, it's good, dude. I gotta walk away for a moment.
Uh, Bishop O'Connell, I'm sorry, LA County Sheriff Robert Luna said on Sunday that the bishop was a peacemaker with a passion of serving those in need while improving our community. My heart grieves after learning of uh, the unaliving, he said in the social media. Parishioner Ramona Torres told CNN, I'm brokenhearted. I've been crying for at least a few days, knowing that he's no longer here to share all his inspiration and his prayers and everything with us. Excuse me. My Lord. Gabriel Guile, another member of the parish, said, I'm very hurt by this passing because it's one of the most lovable persons I've met. Sad and disturbing that things like this are occurring. I don't think that we should actually have to be worrying about people going around doing this, but apparently we do. Apparently we have to worry about people out there, unaliving others because they just don't like their thoughts, they don't like their mindset, they don't like their religion, they don't like who cares what other people think and feel. Stop telling people how that they need to actually go along with your feelings and ideals because you don't like it when others hurt your feelings or something. I just There has to be more to this story as well. I'm really interested in who this guy is that they actually arrested and what he actually really did have to do um, with the bishop and or uh, the Catholic diocese in itself. Where's America's shirts?
America shirts.
Anybody
America
know?
shirts.
Anybody know where America's shirts is?
America shirts. I don't know. I saw him a couple nights ago, I think.
I did talk to him earlier because he had asked me about um, um, somebody sent me a picture from when we were doing the Carter stuff. Thanks, Div. She's like, show the picture.
16 comments. Yes, yes, rabbit. Shirts, shirts,
That
shirts.
picture.
Teamwork makes the dream work. We can do this. We can summon them.
Thanks for the picture, Div. um, it's this. So I didn't. How long are you gonna stick around?
Well, I was just about to drive home. I'm actually not present at a computer or anything right now. So I don't know. I could either drive
You
with
can.
y'all on my knee or just hang up and call it a night here.
Well, I'd rather you be safe, so you do what's best for you.
Alrighty, well, I'll do some thinking about that real hard. What's the next topic? What's an archdiocese, actually? Excuse me. Frog in my throat. Not you.
What's an archdiocese? Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
Yeah, what's their job?
So that's gonna be it's gonna be Catholic. Um,
Right.
Basically, what happens is like an archdiocese would be like a region of churches, or it should consist of more than one. Um, it's been so long since I.
It's sad.
It's like um, priests take care of each individual church. Um, Bishops would take care of like a group of churches, which would be considered an archdiocese.
So he has an even bigger flock.
Correct. Correct.
Let's see.
What the hell? That was a ding 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 ding.
Yeah, that's some ice in my water bottle there. Ding 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 ding. Holding it up in the same. Fantastic. Gotta
What's up,
hydrate.
Sparky? Good to see you. So let's see. Move on to something a little bit more world worthy, I guess.
Shoot, if this stuff ain't world worthy, what is? Like this would in the '80s, dude. Imagine how big news this would have been. Now everybody's just like, I don't want to look, or like, I don't know.
I know, I know. It's there's so much stuff that's out there. Like even digging through to find the stuff that I'm actually covering tonight or whatever. It took me a while, dig through articles, and I'm just like, how many people don't read any of this stuff?
Yeah, freaking crazy.
So here you go. Biden blasted after message handwritten message left for Zelensky. So it says last night.
All kind of noise coming from my end today. Hang on. This is Jimmy ASMR with snow crunching beneath my feet.
Wow. So it says President Joe Biden caused another controversy on Monday after a handwritten message he left Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during a previously announced visit to Kyiv. During a visit to Ukraine royal palace, Biden wrote in a log denoting the occasion that the city had. It captured a part of my heart. I am honored to be welcomed again in Kyiv. I stand in solidarity and friendship with the freedom loving people of Ukraine. Biden wrote, Mr. President, please accept my deepest respect for your courage and leadership. Slava Ukraini. Just that simple, huh? You're just gonna go and leave a note to Slava Ukraini straight out because that's what it is. Okay, thanks, Joe Biden. Fox News added Biden wrote note during his 5-hour visit to the war-torn country on Monday. He used the visit to reaffirm his administration's commitment to supporting Ukraine against Russia's invasions for as long as it takes. Biden pledged an additional $500 million in military assistance during the visit. And oh, really? An additional $500 million, right? Oh, okay. Well, just here you go. No big problem. Pocket change. The U.S. has already delivered more than $100 billion in assistance to Ukraine since Russia first invaded the country in February 2022. The American president's message drew no shortage of outrage and ire on social media. So, Ukraine has your heart, but not America, not East Palestine, not southern border, not food cost, uh, not food cost twice in 2020, record debt, impeach the fool. It's just like, oh, nice, impeach the fool. Yes, thank you, an American. Um, America Last wrote another. Um, it's also part of your wallet. Ryan Fournier, founder of Students for Trump, added, "This is what you, uh, this is what you tweet on President's Day. What about love for America?" This is what he tweets: "Kiev was captured as part of my heart. I know I would be back." That's what he tweets on President's Day. He's more concerned about Ukraine than he is even about the United States in a whole. You're the greatest president Ukraine has ever had, noted Dear American podcast host Graham Allen. It's a- they're poking at him. They're like, "Look at you just did. And what are you doing? You're actually, uh, are you a president of the United States or are you a president of Ukraine? Do you even care about us?" So several American lawmakers have voiced their belief that supporting Ukraine should be a top priority, but some have have criticized the decision to continue providing financial aid without appropriate oversight, while House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has expressed concerns about offering Ukraine an unrestricted financial aid package. The Biden administration has promised to back Zelensky's administration for as long as necessary. National security officials have disclosed more information about Biden's unexpected trip to Ukraine, which is considered unprecedented given the lack of U.S. military infrastructure in the region. During a press briefing, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan was repeatedly questioned about whether the U.S. had given Moscow prior warning that President Biden would be visiting Kyiv, a city that had previously been targeted by Russian missile attacks. We did notify the Russians that President Biden would be traveling to Kyiv. We did so some hours before his departure uh, for deconfliction purposes. So they let them know that he was actually coming. They're like, "Yep, he's coming. He's going to come through. Please don't shoot him down. Please don't go after him. Please leave him alone." Toy Box, member of for 1 month of the Frog Army, says, "I'm in California for 2 weeks. Smells like sweat."
California.
Awesome.
Poor Toy Box.
You see Divinity. Cali, where? Exactly. The United States is risking a nuclear exchange with Russia if Biden administration decides to help Ukraine military retake Crimea. A former long-serving Republican lawmaker from Texas said last month after the suggestion was floated. Dr. Ron Paul, the father of Senator Rand Paul, noted that potential escalation in a Twitter post containing a clip of an interview he did recently discussing the administration's consideration, asking, "Are Americans okay with this?" The question of are Americans okay with this? Asking this one, no, I don't think so. I'm not okay with it. I'm sick of us actually going and assisting this quote unquote war-torn country with our tax dollars. This is our money. You're taking our money out of our pockets to pay somebody else to fend off something that you could potentially be looking at if you actually look at it closer and actually realize what the difference between Russia and Ukraine and what these people are actually pushing for. You might actually stop and think for a few seconds and not be part of um, this Ukraine push.
Cheerleading, more like.
Right?
They actually think. I don't know. It's not like I like Russia either. You know? Like, I sure didn't think I'd be cheering for Russia, but look at all this propaganda that they're shoving in our faces.
Right?
Redon.
Yep. That's it. I mean, there's some other world news. Actually, remember where this is here. I got so many tabs open; it's ridiculous.
I'm sure.
So then,
There, yeah, Divinity says. All right.
Interesting. I'm reading chat here real quick just to kind of keep up with them.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Well, I gotta go drive, man.
Okay, sounds good. Everybody, make sure you check out Jimmy YouTube if you haven't already.
Appreciate you having me on to talk about this a little bit. Just, I don't know, I didn't say much. I was
it's okay.
Not expecting to be away from home.
All
All right. Well, y'all have a great night, and talk to you later. Peace out, guys.
Later.
Bye bye.
So, and there's a frog. Wow, he was really letting off a lot of room noise. That's amazing. TV Flair says, I love how the FEMA has denied the Ohio. Why did you retract that? Explosion victims yet will be shilling out 500 million to keep a war going that we really have no stake in. Hi, Jimmy. Yeah, we don't care about Ohio. We don't care about Ohio whatsoever. There's no reason to actually, even think that Ohio's something that we even need to worry about. We need to worry about Ukraine. Slava Ukraine. So, yeah, wow, he was letting off so much room noise. It's amazing. So, there was an earthquake that had occurred like a week or two ago in Turkey. It seems as though they're catching aftershocks. They're actually catching more earthquakes in Turkey. Uh, this is a shallow magnitude of 6.4 earthquake struck Turkey's Syria border region after it was devastated 2 weeks ago by quakes that killed tens of thousands of people. Monday's aftershock was centered in Turkey's northernmost province of Hatay, at the depth of 1.2 miles. European Mediterranean Seismological Center said. Turkey, hey, Turkey's interior minister. Tadpoles. What? You're back again? Now what? Yeah, I'm back again. What? Not working? Okay. Well, let's figure it out real quick. That's why I have an American shirt with me usually. Something to actually kind of fill up some dead air while, I have a tadpole that decides he doesn't want to actually sleep. That better? All right. So it says Turkey's Interior Minister Suleyman Soylu said 3 people were killed and more than 200 others injured. The quake hit the city of uh, Daphne and was strongly felt in Hatay's nearby capital of Antakya and Adana in the north. The second quake of magnitude of 5.8 shook the region several minutes later. So one after the other. So they're calling them aftershocks, but after 2 weeks ago having an earthquake actually kill so many millions of people or whatever, they've actually had two more occur within the last day. It could be sad and to actually hear that something like that's actually occurring. What's this? Oh, okay. Hold on. Not really watching chat. Don't have a chance to. There you go. The second quake magnitude 5.8 shook the region several minutes later. Turkey's disaster management agency said it was centered in Hatay's Samandağ district. Turkey's state-run Anadolu news agency said that the Temblors were the tremors. I don't know what that word is. Were felt in Syria, Jordan, Israel, and Egypt. Multiple different earthquakes within a short period of time.
that can be very, very devastating to something that's already been devastated by one already. Um, and then it being in the region that it is, I really can see the United States throwing more money at yet another country. I'm not just ignoring chat at all. I'm not trying to. I did catch the DM that you had sent over in Discord, though, Darth. So it's basically it's saying that there's so many more earthquakes that there's always earthquakes occurring, and it sounds like there's going to be more. I wouldn't doubt that if these are tremors that are happening 2 weeks later at 6.4 and 5.8, I wouldn't doubt that there'd be a lot more uh, earthquakes actually happening in that region, and we're going to see more and more um, injury and or unaliving. So this is a 6.4 magnitude earthquake as the second measuring 5.8 had hit Turkey's southern province of Hatay, terrifying those left in the region devastated by the twin earthquakes 2 weeks ago. Turkey's interior minister, Soyleman Soylu, said that at least 3 people were unalived and 213 were wounded in the latest quakes after a large government hospital in the city in northern Hatay province declared it was evacuating patients. The latest quakes, less powerful than 7.8 and 7.5 magnitude earthquakes that tore a path of destruction through the southern Turkey and northern Syria on February 6th, threatened yet more devastation in a region that many people have fled their destroyed homes for the safety of the towns and villages outside the quake zone. The larger quake struck the depths of 1.2 miles, the European Mediterranean Seismological Center said, potentially magnifying the impact of the ground level. It is centered near the southern Turkish city of Antakya and was felt in Syria, Egypt, and Lebanon. Turkey's disaster management agency said that the epicenter of the larger quake was below the Defni district in Hatay in the region where it was. Many have complained there's a lackluster government response to the first earthquakes. So this one actually gives you a little bit more of a map. You can actually see uh, right off of that whole region or whatever. You can see where that actually struck right on that border. Um, did they have more quakes? Yeah, there was 2 that happened 2 weeks ago, and there's 2 that just happened within the day. Uh, these ones are a little less, but still the difference between a couple of 7 points and a 6 point or a 5.4 can't be that much different. Now, somebody like yourself, Divinity, that lives in an area that's prone to get earthquakes on a regular basis, you might know the difference between some of those sizes of quakes, but those are to me would seem to be fairly significant, especially when they're removing uh, that many people from the face of the planet um, in one fell swoop. That's so much stuff up. I'm glad that I'm starting to wake up. We will do a Rumble exclusive eventually here once we finish these next set of articles. Um, Fives and sixes are still big. Yeah, I figured. So, you know, Turkey's having issues, whatever Syria's having issues, and on top of the war torn regions and areas of everything that's happening, they're dealing with earthquakes, massive earthquakes. And in my thought, that's a lot. Um, I forgot that I had that running as well. I do have my locals running, which is actually running a Rumble. Rumble's actually running, and nice. I actually got it to work. I think, yeah. Odyssey's actually working as well. For all of you that are out there that like different platforms, there are some other platforms out there. He glanced at us. For as much as I normally like to actually, talk to chat, I mean, I'm not trying to ignore you at all. Their infrastructure's crap. Go figure. Um, bring us back to the States here for these last couple before we go to the exclusive. Where are we at? Hour and 10. All right, not bad. So, like I said, there will be an exclusive on that Rumble eventually. If y'all haven't been over there already, go check it out. Get yourself there. Subscribe over there as well. What? Not sure what you're trying to say there, Grim. Bring Grim on? What? I mean, you can. Oh. No chaos. Oh, is that what's going on? She's like, "Come on, Grim, let's go. I need a drunk clip. You've been drinking, Grim? Fucked up. Uh, Grim's like, yes, I've been drinking. Don't invite me. I'm not a good person to invite for news. Tweety US News. Why is he pushing Rumble so hard? Well, why not? Because if something ever happens, that's where it will be. We're gonna do an exclusive here eventually. There you go. Democrat John Fetterman could remain in hospital for over a month. I mean, really? They just said last week that it was going to be, a better part of a week, and now listen, they're like, oh, it's going to be a better part of a month. What's up, Grim?
Yeah. It's like a better man. Could be a better man. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Not too bad.
There you go. Fuck, I'm dead, bro. Just fucking no, I'm done. I'm out. This all is chess. I'm done.
Thanks. Thanks, Grim. All right. So, newly minted Senator John Fetterman could reportedly stay in the hospital for a lengthy period of time after checking himself in to receive treatment for clinical depression last week. After speaking to Fetterman, senior aide in Wall Street Journal reported, his office said that Mr. Fetterman has experienced depression off and on throughout his life, and that the senator voluntarily entered the hospital after consulting with the attending physician for Congress, Dr. Brian P. Monahan. A senior aide for Mr. Fetterman said that the interview late Friday that the senator will remain hospitalized as doctors try out new medications and dosages to test their efficacy. Mr. Fetterman will also engage in talk therapy, an aide said, meeting with professional therapists to discuss the experiences he has had, including the challenges of campaigning for office. The hospital stay could range from weeks to more than a month, but likely less than 2 months, the aide said, citing the time frame the doctors are focusing on. So, yet again, we went and we supposedly went and voted for somebody like Mr. Fetterman to actually be senator of Pennsylvania, but yet he can't do his job. He's unable, mentally defunct, whatever cyst on my neck piece of crap that should never even be there. I don't get why Fetterman's even there. If it was because, he was the lesser of two evils against Dr. Oz, you need to stop voting against something and start voting for something. It seems that that's what everybody has the intention of doing lately is just, I'm against that, so I'm going to go against that. I'm not going to vote for something. I'm going to vote against something. And that's what they did. They voted against something as opposed and allowed this guy to actually take the seat. And now for 2 months, this guy's not going to be part of the Senate. His vote's not going to, be there or whatever. So it's like, I mean, maybe they could be okay. Maybe. But why would you put somebody in place if they're that mentally deficient? And it's so stupid. There's no reason that this guy should be in place. It was always planned to put his wife in spot. She's too radical to quit on her own. I mean, I'd heard some people saying that before or whatever, that it's the potential that, she was the one that's actually forced him to do it. And that she would be the one running the show. Yet to actually see proof of that. This comes after a senator checked himself into the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center to receive treatment of clinical depression last Wednesday, according to the statement from Fetterman's chief of staff, Adam Gentleson, who noted that Fetterman would be receiving treatment on a voluntary basis, experienced depression off and on throughout his life. However, that was the second time the senator had been in the hospital in recent weeks. The week before, Fetterman was hospitalized after he began feeling lightheaded. At the time, Fetterman's communication director, Joe Cavello, said that the initial tests did not show evidence of a new stroke, but that more tests would be run. The senator's wife, Giselle Fetterman, there's his wife, said in pair of tweets on Thursday following the news of her husband, after what he's been through in the past year, there's probably no one who wanted to talk about his own health less than John. He also asked everyone to please respect the family's privacy during the difficult time. In a campaign trial, the senator suffered a stroke before clinching the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate seat in Pennsylvania. However, Breitbart News previously noted Fetterman routinely appeared disoriented in public appearances throughout the campaign, regularly mispronouncing words and confusing sentences. After a disastrous interview with NBC Nightly News, Dasha Burns drew criticism for noting that Fetterman's stroke impaired him in a variety of ways, from his comprehension to his basic speech, to the point of him needing a closed caption system during the in-person interview. Fetterman's campaign required closed caption technology for this interview to essentially read our questions as we asked them. She told fellow reporter Lester Holt in a town talk before the interview, without captioning, it wasn't clear he was understanding our conversation. As far as somebody needing, some kind of like closed caption, needing to be able to read the question or have a question on front of them, I mean, it's not unheard of for people to actually do this. Should he be a senator, though, with that kind of an issue? I'm not so positive. He went on to win the election against Republican opponent Mohammed Oz in November, despite the poor debate performance. Um, I really seriously him winning that seat really is one of those flukes that I believe occurred. I don't think that it was actually intended to be the way it did, and they forced it. They forced it to actually become a thing. Um, Now having to have a question in front of you as opposed to just listening to somebody read it or ask it or whatever. I mean, I can kind of get some of that, I guess. I mean, I to a point. It just makes it sound like he's even there's even more wrong with him than what we initially thought of. Um, Check chat here real quick. Why is he allowed to stay in this position if he's brain dead? I don't know. I don't get. Why is he allowed to actually stay in this position? Why is this position even something that even should even be in? I just don't get it. I don't think that the US government is actually thinking. I think they're actually, there's more of an agenda ahead of us, and they needed to put somebody that was less of a thinker in that spot. Somebody that they could just actually be like, well, you vote the way we tell you to vote. Don't think. Um, let's see here. Almost. We got what 5 articles left for the YouTube side. Uh, Here you go. U.S. Supreme Court takes on immunity for tech giants. And it's like, ooh. The U.S. Supreme Court will hear a quarter-century-old law this week. It has protected tech companies from lawsuits and prosecution for the content posted by their users. The ruling is being closely watched as it would upend rules that have governed the internet. Section 230 has seen a fundamental law in the internet and considered I can't even say that word. By its staunch defenders. Section 230 was part of the Communications Decency Act, an anti-pornography law signed in 1996 that helped set the rules on the road of the internet, which was still in its infancy, an online playground for all. The idea was to protect the then embryonic internet sector from cascading lawsuits and to allow it to flourish while encouraging tech companies to moderate their content. At the time, most of the attention went on limits put on sexual content. A part of the bill that was backed by then President Bill Clinton, and that was later struck down by Supreme Court in a landmark case. But inserted into the legislation was Section 230, which stated that no provider of the user interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher uh, or hold responsibility for the content that came from an outside party. Under the protection of Section 230, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube became the conduits of the world's conversation without ever being risk of lawsuit by someone taking offense at a tweet or a controversial video. The Supreme Court also recently heard arguments in a closely watched immigration case that could set the major precedent. Um, it's going to jump off into immigration. We don't really care about the immigration side of it. We care about the Section 230 side of it. So it seems as though Section 230 is actually going to be rehashed through SCOTUS. This kid, tell ya, go to bed. it seems as though SCOTUS is actually going to go and hear more things to do about this quarter century old law that is on the books, which is called Section 230. Section 230 has actually been something that a lot of us have actually talked about in the past. Grimsbar's covered Section 230 in depth. And I would almost think that once this particular hearing comes closer, we will actually hit on this again for sure. SCOTUS is actually fun to actually listen to, and it should be very interesting to see what actually comes out of this, being that they're actually going to try um, do hearings about Section 230 again. See if some of these can actually be changed, or something can actually maybe help us in the long run. As content creators that are out there that are actually trying to do something, hopefully that actually changes some of those rules, and it could be interesting to see what happens. You should all read the YouTube terms of service and then Section 230. As far as terms of service goes, so next week, March 3rd, Friday, I'm going to actually do the 24-hour stream. Now, it's been brought to my attention that we should actually read terms of service. I'm pretty sure that we will actually read majority, if not all, of the terms of service and go through that within that 24-hour period. Should be interesting for sure. If you get Section 230 reform, it won't help the First Amendment. I mean, maybe. Yeah, that was Div's idea to do terms of service. And we're going to run with it. We're going to have fun. Kind of kick it around here a little bit. A couple of articles left here. So this is Kamala Harris stunned when liberal MSNBC host hits her with facts. Yeah, this lady should not be in this seat that she's in, but whatever. Let's hit her with some facts and see what she actually, how she squirms and squeals. This is when Vice President Kamala Harris agreed to sit for an interview with Andrea Mitchell on CNN. She must have expected softballs, and there were plenty of those. But one moment in the interview was very tense. The host straight asked the vice president why President Joe Biden is so unpopular and why she is even more unpopular than him. The question, why do you think the president has such low popularity, favorable ratings, and you have even less favorable ratings? Why do you think that is? For somebody to actually go ahead and ask such a question is great. I will tell you what I see when I'm out on the road. I see people thanking the president. The vice president said before Mitchell interrupted and said, "It's not translating." Thanking our administration. I think that what we have to do is focus on what is actually strengthening America and American people and the American families. And when I talk about American families, about what they want and what they care about, things like bringing down the cost of healthcare, bringing down unemployment, doing the work of strengthening and growing America's workforce, including America's manufacturing. That's what American people want, the vice president said. Oh, is that what they want? Are you sure? But the host was not done. She did not accept the answer and pressured further on the people who believe that she should not be on the ticket for President Biden in 2024. Quote, dozens of Democratic leaders are saying that they not only don't think that she's the strongest candidate, considering the larger field that could be possible given his age and other defects, but they don't think that you're the right person to be on the ticket. Why do you think that? The host said. I think it is very important to focus on the needs of the American people and not political chatter out of Washington, D.C., the vice president said. So, again, refusing to answer the question. Answer the question. That's all you have to do. Answer the question, and think about why it is that you are so unliked. And you obviously ran for president in 2020. You want to be president? Do you still want to be president someday? The host pressed. Joe Biden has said he intends to run for re-election for president, and I intend to run with him as vice president of the United States. So she is going to be his running mate, or she's not? Who's doing 24 hours? Koolfrogg or? I am. I'm doing a 24-hour stream next week, Friday the 3rd. Don't know exactly what time we're starting and what time we're actually ending. I have not figured that out. In another part of the interview, Mitchell drew ire of she lied about Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. She spoke to Harris in Munich, Germany, in several topics, which included the Florida governor removing one AP African American Studies class from his state's curriculum. Let me ask you, what does Governor Ron DeSantis not know about Black history and the Black experience when he says that slavery and the aftermath of slavery should not be taught in Florida's school children? It is important to note that the Mitchell's question is dishonest, as he never said that slavery and the aftermath of slavery should not be taught in Florida's to Florida school children. Right, exactly. It was never actually stated that way. It's just that somebody actually took him out of context and actually went ahead and made it sound like he said something that he didn't actually say. The governor has said that he will keep critical race theory and the sexual explicit topics from being taught to children, as should everybody else. CRT, and other topics should not be taught in schools. There's no reason for it. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's it. That's what they should be there for. They should not be there for teaching them how to actually fundamentally think different than the way that they want them to. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense whatsoever. Make a dash for it. Catch you in a few. Later, Cake. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Shameful. This question from Mitchell Report exemplifies everything wrong with the corporate media. They're not accidentally terrible at their jobs. They're maliciously intent on deceiving people. Governor Ron DeSantis never said this. And Florida has extensive Black history requirements, the governor's press secretary, Brian Griffin, said. He then linked to the state's required curriculum for African American studies. The history of the United States included a period of discovery, early colonies, and the War of Independence, the Civil War, the expansion of the United States to present boundaries, the World Wars, civil rights movements, and present. American history shall be viewed as factual, not as constructed. Shall be viewed as noble, teachable, and testable, and shall be defined as the creation of new nation based largely on the universal principles stated in the Declaration of Independence. The following is a required instruction statute, statute 1003.42. The history of African Americans, including the history of African peoples before the political conflicts that led to the development of slavery, the passage of American enslavement experience, abolition, and history of the contributions of Americans. Stop. Jeez. Of Americans and Africans' dysphoria to society. So it's very interesting to actually think that you can actually put words in other people's mouths and actually What the hell is that now? Stop. This kid, I swear. Apparently, some people don't like it when I do my stuff. Thank you, tadpole. So, being asked questions about popularity and refusing to answer them, refusing to actually say what's actually happened, saying that she's actually going to be the running mate when she has no clue what she's actually going to be. And then she goes ahead and she, um, brings up the stuff about DeSantis and DeSantis actually saying something that he didn't actually say. That's the Democratic way. We'll see how many times that we can put words in other people's mouths and, cause that issue to continue. I'm sorry. Stop. Where's Tadpole's other parent? She's sleeping, as she actually does have an actual job that she'll be going to in the morning. This kid. Stop. Stop. He's like, what? You want me to stop jumping? Why? I just want to jump. Jump, jump, jump. Jumping and everything. Stop jumping. It's time for bed. No. Thanks, Heidi. 17 concurrent viewers, 23 likes. If you haven't already, please hit that like button for me. See that there's a couple people out there that actually had great names. There's way to actually join the Koolfrogg army for sure. Go ahead, go down there, hit that money bag, hit that join button, throw some ducats at us, help us out. Turn off the lights are off. There are 0 lights on. That's what I'm talking about. This kid. What the hell's going on now? Oh, okay. Let's do this. I've missed this guy. Let's go. We don't have very many articles left over here, so invite them in. I'm fine with it. Let's go. We'll kind of kick it along here, I suppose. So CNN's Lemon takes off air, taken off air after sexist remarks. So Don Lemon, this guy that's actually been around for quite some time, who's worked for leftist media for quite a few different places, seems to potentially be out of a job. As a CNN This Morning co-host Don Lemon wasn't part of the network's program on Monday after being taken off air by upper management following remarks he made during a show late last week. The Daily Beast noted that Lemon was benched on Monday over remarks he had made about GOP presidential contender Nikki Haley being past her prime at 51 years old, suggesting that she could not be an effective leader due to her age. Joe Biden, incidentally, is 80 and visibly struggles with speeches at times. According to the report from the Leck Cartwright in the Daily Beast, CNN changed its Monday lineup and proceeded without anchor Don Lemon, while conversations about Don's future were reportedly ongoing. All right, here we go. We're going to bring somebody in here real quick. Welcome. Hello. Winning Reality. Good to see you.
How's it going?
Bud. Good to
You
see
too, man. How's my sound? Is it in
You
there?
sound good. No, yep,
All
you
right,
sound good.
all right. I'm not going to move closer to the mic, I swear. What is going on with Don Lemon, man?
Right? I mean, he goes and he calls out Nikki Haley for being too old to be effective leader at the age of 51. But Joe Biden's 80. Which let's not think about that.
Right? Whoa.
This is according to the report from Lake and Cartwright, the Daily Beast. CNN changed its Monday lineup proceeding without anchor Don Lemon, while conversation about Don's future were reportedly ongoing. Cartwright obtained a copy of the Monday schedule and reported that it had been changed on Sunday afternoon. He also cited two people familiar with the matter who claimed that Lemon's future at CNN is uncertain. Lemon has been a prominent figure in CNN, having hosted a variety of shows and segments for the network over the years. His most recent gig was a solo primetime evening show, but he was moved to co-host in the mornings late last fall. However, CNN has denied that Lemon's absence on Monday was anything to do with the remarks about Haley. He has taken the holiday. He's been chased by paparazzi all weekend. He's been under attack. He's not ready to go back on air, a spokesperson said in reference to President's Day. Last week, Lemon appeared to offend co-host Poppy Harlow over his Haley remarks. This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people who know politicians are suddenly not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry, when a woman is in their prime, in their 20s and 30s and maybe 40s, he said before Harlow interrupted. What are you wait, she said. That's not according to me, Lemon responded. Prime for what? Harlow said. It depends. It's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s, Lemon retorted. 40s? Oh my God. I have another decade, Harlow said. I'm not saying I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that. Politicians are in their prime. Lemon added, stumbling as he backtracked. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you talking about prime for being president? Harlow pressed. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying what the facts are. Google it. Everybody at home, when a woman is in her prime, it says 20s, 30s, and 40s. I'm just saying Nikki Haley should careful about saying what politics are not in their prime, and they need to be in their prime when they serve. She would not be in her prime according to Google or whatever it is, Lemon said. Lemon's just a dumbass. Go ahead.
It's like he's like sizing him up for the orgy or something. It's like she's too old. No.
She's too old. She's
No
past
way.
her prime. Don't let her actually run for office. We don't want that. Yeah, and we should maybe look up what's prime for a male and see how far that goes. Because I'm sure 80 years old is not prime for
right.
Male.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think so.
Following an exchange on air, the New York Post reported that the furious Harlow walked off the set per the New York Post. According to the source, Collins, who has previously clashed with Lemon, followed her colleague into the restroom during a well-timed bathroom break. The insider suggested that the tense relationship between Lemon, Collins, and Harlow had been simmering for several months, as have previous sources. Additionally, the CNN insider claimed that the recent high-profile incident may prompt network boss liked to replace Lemon as the co-host of the morning show. So they're looking at potentially replacing him. Good.
I see.
Replace him. Get him out of there. He shouldn't even be there anyway. His one man show at night was horrible. Him running this stuff in the morning, he doesn't seem to be a morning person. It seems as though he wakes up agitated.
I like to. I think they should put all together all the really pathetic like media personalities in one place, and it would just be like nonstop meme TV. You could probably throw some internet personalities on there as well. Just like nonstop.
I mean,
You really easy to avoid them,
Sure. Chris isn't happy. He has spoken with Don a couple times today. The network source told the Post Don knows it can't happen again. Lamont, who also did not do the show on Friday, took to Twitter to offer up a mea culpa of sorts after Thursday's broadcast. The reference I made to the women's prime this morning was inartful and irrelevant, as colleagues and loved ones have pointed out, and I regret it. A woman's age doesn't define her, either personally or professionally. I have countless women in my life who prove that every day, he noted. Yeah, really? You have countless women in your life who prove that every day?
Is this the same Don Lemon I'm thinking of?
Yeah. Yep,
The guy,
it's
is this
him.
the guy who did like had his nipple pierced on New Year's Eve or something? He was like, he was going on and on and on about it. He's got really drunk. Do you remember that? Is that the same guy?
This
Yep.
guy.
That's
Yep,
him.
this guy.
Yeah. The drunker he got, man, the more his real self came out. It was hilarious.
That last statement on there, it really, really kind of floors me. That he says that he seems to be. I have countless women in my life who prove that every day. Are you sure? If I'm not mistaken, is he not actually gay? Oh, yes, he actually is. Isn't that
He's-
something?
He's probably talking about 3 of his trans friends. It's like
I mean, this is like a month ago or something. Because since he's actually come to this morning show or whatever, we actually covered something that he had actually said about the difference between Michelle Obama and Melania Trump, where he said that Michelle Obama was the better looking. Of course he did.
yeah, right.
Yes, it's just like, oh, really? That's the one, huh? All right.
That's probably could do that with a straight face. He's probably making some kind of like weird grimace when he said it. Yeah, she's better looking.
He likes the weens. What the hell, Darn? All right. Well.
Oh wow,
kick-
is it Mardi? It's Mardi Gras time. I wouldn't
Mardi
have known that, but I saw a little display on my search bar. I was just like, oh yeah, Mardi Gras. You ever been to Mardi Gras?
No.
I've been 3
Have
times.
I
I've survived 3 times.
There's nothing that really actually makes me think that, oh yeah, I should go to Mardi Gras.
Well, you're not 20.
Sure.
Yeah. Or 20 to 30. Really. I can't even remember when I think I went at the end of my 20s or something. Somewhere in there.
Sure.
Yeah. One time we went just on a whim and I went with a friend and we found a broken parking meter and parked the car there, and that was our hotel. Call it the vagrant vacation. It was a lot
All
of fun.
right. So last couple articles here, down the last three here, says North Carolina could redistricting could give Republicans 4 more House seats. So it seems as though North Carolina is going to redistrict. It says Republicans are potentially pick up 4 more seats. This article should have actually been a couple articles ago. It was out of place. Republicans could potentially pick up to 4 more seats in the U.S. House of Representatives, and North Carolina's state Supreme Court delivers a ruling in its favor. The state's highest court has set to hear a challenge to the state's congressional map and the outcome of the beneficial to the GOP. The current map, which is installed after the state Supreme Court struck down the legislature passed map, could lead to the Republicans picking up as many as 4 House seats in 2024. The state Supreme Court now holds a conservative majority after elections last fall, and the court recently agreed to revisit its prior decision, the Washington Examiner reported. North Carolina's 14 House seats are currently evenly split between Republicans and Democrats, but the previously enacted map struck down by the court would have likely set up the GOP with as many as 11 seats. One expert told Reuters it would not be a surprise if the old map was reinstated instead of the entirely new map being formulated. Early projections of the 2024 House races from the Cook Political Report shows the GOP with an advantage with likely installation of new Republican-friendly maps in North Carolina and Ohio playing a role in the early projection. Republicans currently hold a narrow 221-212 majority of the House of Representatives after taking back control of the chamber in 2022, despite underperforming the most key races nationwide, which I still don't think that they underperformed. I think they did just fine. North Carolina also has a closely watched election case that could upend the 2024 presidential race. Conservative Supreme Court justice appeared skeptical about the state court's decision to strike down Republican-drawn congressional districts in North Carolina, but it seemed unlikely a majority would embrace a broad theory that could upend the election law nationwide. The appeal brought by North Carolina Republicans asked the court, which has a 6-3 conservative majority, to embrace the hitherto obscured legal argument called the independent state legislature theory, which could strip state courts of the power to strike down certain election laws enacted by state legislatures. The independent state legislature argument hinges on the language of the Constitution that says election rules shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof. Supporters of the theory, which has never been endorsed by the Supreme Court, say the language supports the notion that when it comes to federal election rules, legislatures have an ultimate power under state law, potentially irrespective to potential constraints imposed by state's constitution. Backed by Republican leaders in the North Carolina General Assembly, the crux of the argument is that all other state legislatures should have much broader power to write election laws, with courts mostly not allowed to stop them by ruling their actions unconstitutional. They've been tight-lipped about the case since filing it in the spring, mostly preferring to avoid commenting on it to reporters and instead doing their talking through legal briefs. Beyond redistricting, the case also has a potential to change how North Carolina and the 49 other states handle everything from early voting to mail-in ballots, rules to voter ID, recounts, post-election audits, anything else that could possibly affect the election. However, there's been another major turn of events. The newly Republican-controlled North Carolina Supreme Court will rehear a major redistricting case at the heart of one of the biggest Supreme Court decisions expected this year. The North Carolina High Court's impudence has national implications. If the court reverses its previous rulings, the Moore v. Harper case pending before the U.S. Supreme Court could be rendered moot. That case addresses the independent state legislature theory, which suggests that a state's constitution cannot limit a state legislature when it determines the rules for federal elections. The theory would give state legislatures free rein to impose restrictive voting laws even if they violate the state constitution. As election law professor Rick Hassan notes, mooting that case could have devastating consequences on the issue and arises again in the context of a disputed presidential election. The Washington Monthly reported Democrats are out in full force pushing their usual talking points by claiming it could end democracy. Well, end it as you will. It sounds as though the potential for these 4 more House seats to come out of North Carolina and being pushed as Republican could really actually change a lot, as well as some other states could pick up some different regulations according to what SCOTUS decides to do with it. That's kind of exciting, and yet at some point, but yet at the same time, it's like, do we need more seats in the House? How many seats in the House do we really seriously need? I think, I get it. They're based on population.
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
Right. It is what it is. So, eventually, though, you'd think that they would have to put a limit to, how many would come out of each state or something. I really don't know how this could be good for anything, because though they're projecting for more Republican seats, what happens when those 4 don't go Republican and they actually go the other way to the Democrats? And then all of a sudden you're looking at it and you're like, oh, it's no longer an easy advantage or whatever.
How many would you really need? How many do we really need? Like this at a certain level, when is it just, that's enough? No matter
and
what.
That's why I said I think we need to put some kind of a limit on.
I'm asking, like, what is that? What do you think that could be? Like, what in a country like this size, populations could go out of control. It could be whatever, right? There's plenty of room here, and but when does it become like the idea is to represent everybody, right? But that can be done in larger groups now because we got technology. We don't have to rely on horses and buggies and stuff. So it seems like we could kind of just slice it up in such a way that it's based on projected max or whatever, and say that well, here you go, you get 5, you get 4, you get 2. Seems like that would work. I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe I don't know. I really don't.
We'll leave it to the population experts to deal with that.
And that's pretty much what it's supposed to run off a population no matter what, and that's how you get representatives to represent the people as they are.
Yeah, that would work then. We'll just give everybody the max right now. Everybody gets their state max.
Give them a state max. Is there a state max? Is it because it's based on population? It just
whatever your state can hold, you're gonna get that amount now.
Everybody go move to Tennessee and let's flood Tennessee and let's see how many representatives we can actually push out of Tennessee.
The most crowded state in the nation, but they always win. We probably got freedom crammed here together. All right.
But Dar says populations change. Yes, they do. They do change and they move around. They don't always stay right where they're at. So when this next census comes around, which do they do that every 10? It just did one, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah. It comes around is it every 5 or is it every 4 years or 7 years? Is it 7 years? I can't remember. It's a weird cycle.
It does. It
Yeah.
does occur every so many years or whatever, where you do a census. Census actually dictates where population is, and which actually kind of you know evolves into where the population, where you actually get representatives. Um, uh, this area that I live in here, there's been a big, huge, serious, huge push in population change. Like people moving out of big cities, moving into smaller areas, areas that aren't so prone to crime and violence. Um, those some areas have actually grown exponentially, whereas some of those areas, like the Twin Cities, that there's so many people that actually left. They're like, nope, let's get out of here. So, I mean, that's where I was last when I did my last census, was up in the Twin Cities. So it's like, of what's the population gonna, how dramatic of population changes are gonna be? Will they actually
Yeah.
lose seats, out of these big cities? Will there be more seats that would be formed in smaller areas or less populated areas? It could be fun to actually see what happens.
Yeah, no doubt.
Um, so I noticed that there's an awful lot of people that decided to actually jump on one particular subject tonight. The one thing that I was kind of holding off on, I had it actually placed towards the end because of what it was, but it seems that there's a lot of people actually covering Project Veritas and James O'Keefe in depth. I don't know if it's necessary for me to try to cover such a thing, being that there's so many others that are doing so, or not. But
Man, just cover it.
well, I do have one article up from Red State. I did watch. There's a couple of videos out there or whatever to go along with the stuff. I noticed that America Shirts had actually posted something in my general Discord of like some 50-minute video of sorts. There's a couple other videos out there of this particular instance. Oh, really? What's up, Divinity?
Hey,
Hey.
What's up?
what up? Nothing. This is I was gonna wait till after the news, but I want to know about this one. This one's actually interesting to me.
All right. So it says James O'Keefe resigns from Project Veritas in stunning move. This is things at Project Veritas have come to a head. James O'Keefe, who founded the undercover journalism organization, has officially resigned after internal tensions broke out into open recently. In early February, O'Keefe was placed on leave for reasons not entirely understood, though it has been reasonably ascertained that the board of the organization had serious problems with his leadership. That battle has now come to a head. Um, this entire situation confuses me. O'Keefe is fresh off one of the biggest strings ever, catching a research and development director from Pfizer admitting that the company is mutating some particular coofness to produce future jabs. The video that watched tens of millions of times, representing a boon for Project Veritas. Of all the times that there is attention inside the organization, this would seem like the least likely. Regardless, O'Keefe is out anyway. Perhaps some of the further explanation will be revealed soon, but I'm not sure Project Veritas stays relevant without the person who has been behind its success. On the other hand, O'Keefe will no doubt land on his feet. He started new ventures before, and his strategy is tested and proven. I expect him to be out with something new in short order. Um, there's a lot more to actually go along with this particular issue of James O'Keefe. There's no way that it's just that. Oh well, I'm just going to resign after being outed at the beginning of the month. Um, $5 over on the Rumble side says hello. Divinity said, and those other two people on screen with weird logos. Yeah.
It's a human.
Thanks, PV.
Hey. Okay, so wait. So I heard that they suspended him or whatever because because of he does what he does the way he does it. Is that right? They're like, "Oh, you're a little too risky for us."
If wasn't that what they were actually supposed to be about though? Is the
Yeah.
risk? I mean,
Yeah.
that was supposed to be the intent of him actually running such a thing was to actually uncover the shit that
Yeah,
people
yeah.
hadn't been uncovering.
So do you
Yeah,
think
I
that
thought he owned the
if
place.
well,
Right.
when you have a board, do you think that it could be possible that he wants to talk about it, but if he still works there, he can't really do that? Or what do you think resigning gets him? Chat?
No, I'm. What do you, as far as him resigning, I don't see that it gets him anything. I really
There's
don't. I don't see that it's actually going to help him or the company. Because to
It
me,
might take a liability
he
away
is
from the company. Yeah, that's I thought he was the company actually. Didn't he start
Well,
it?
yeah.
So maybe he just wants to start one he can
But that's
own.
what that's the thing. Like it's not like he needs that name, so resigning just gives him the freedom to keep doing whatever the fuck he wants, I wonder. And maybe he
Yep.
can talk about it.
Well, that way he's not answering to anybody else.
Yeah. That's
Might as well. It's all his.
definitely.
It's all his stuff. Why is someone telling him what to do with his stuff?
Yeah. Oh wait, how come I don't have chat up? I only have Rumble. Oh, we're just rumbling. Hello, Divinity said. Hi. Dude, Rumble is dope. If you're on a PC. Oh wait, I don't want to interrupt this.
you're good.
Dude, if you're on a PC, everyone gets a specific color. The rumor is that there are 16 colors, but the truth is there are 4 or only 4. So go over here and see if there's a yellow. Curious if there's an orange. Tweety says theirs is orange, but that's pink. That's it. Literally, there's no blue. There's no blue. That's weird. There's like a bunch of pink colors. Anyways, apparently the colors are new. There's emojis. There's only a few people. Wait, there's another super chat over there, whatever they're called. If he has a non-disclosure agreement, he is not as intelligent as I thought. Yeah.
P Beaver for another $1 on the Rumble side. Thank you.
He started it and it will fail without him. Great Looker said that. Yeah, well, it's not, I mean, it'll probably do fine because people are fucking sheeple and they're just going to keep following because they don't care. There are so many there that they don't care. They need to be spoon-fed and they'll just go Project Veritas forever. But there are people who care about the truth, and you're right. They will follow him. He'll continue to keep going because it's not the name on the building that anyone fucking gave a shit about. People probably don't even know what Veritas means. They're there for what he did. And if that's a problem with Board, then I'm glad he left. Good for him.
It's information, folks. It's information. Yeah, it might not be as hostile as it looks. It could just be like, hey, I should probably take off now, and do something new.
Yeah.
And you guys can keep going with what. I don't think that he would want to see anything bad happen to it unless there's really is bad blood or heat going on there, and he'll let us know. I mean, right now I'm just kind of like I'm thinking of it as he built it. He'd hate to see something go down with it. Why, even if he has to leave for its own good or something, maybe lawsuits that would be coming their way that would jeopardize it.
Oh, I see. Like maybe
ransacking, harassment, all those little things.
Maybe that's the story. Maybe it's all a scam, that they weren't ever really going to get rid of him, that he wasn't really going to resign, but in order to separate himself from the business and their assets. P Beaver over on fuck, why can't I say it? P Beaver. I want to say Bieber. Over on Rumble said the colors are set for the user, so you could theoretically have all purples in chat if that is what they are assigned. Mine has been the same since assigned. So apparently they assign you a color. So like if somebody else came in over on Rumble, I'm Divinity 143. So if somebody else came in with that same name, but they weren't purple, that would be a problem because it wouldn't be me. Mine's purple. So it's kind of like a double thing. I think it's dope. So whatever you are, you are. And if you're team purple, you're dope. And if you're not, maybe just don't go to Rumble ever again. Just kidding. Or whatever.
They're dividing everybody up in the gangs.
They're starting
Yeah,
to change them.
I wanna see
That's
who's
why it's
on the
called
green
Rumble.
gang.
That's why it's
Yes, get
called
ready to
Rumble. You
rumble.
know, it's like the gang rumble.
PB or Beaver is fine. PB, oh, that makes it way easier. Thank you. Colors do not change from chat to chat or day to day. I like that. Go Team Purple. I know Great Liquor is purple. I'm purple. And the White Rabbit is purple. The Expert is green. And Darth Hideous is green. And so green's gay. What the shit? Koolfrogg is blue. You're so gay. You're a mod over there. Dope. I love it. I really like the way it looks. I love the colors so much.
It's fun. A little different.
It's kind of like old school chat where it would be like you get the colors. I don't know. I really like it.
Oh, yeah, right. Go back to the days of Mark, right?
Yeah. Mine was always purple and alternating purple and gold. And then eventually I made it so that it faded purple to gold. Oh, I loved using colors when I wrote. Cool blue. Team blue's pretty cool, man.
I guess.
How do you
Team
How do you
purple
know which
would
color you
win.
got?
You just have to type in chat.
You just type something in that chat, you'll know.
You're probably black. Black pilled.
That's right. Beautiful. All right, here we go.
That's right.
That's right.
I could feel your soul through the thing I always knew. Winning is Team Green with the gays. Way to
Fred,
go.
what's up?
Yes, Darth is happy to have you.
I should have automatically
Fred
gotten green.
What's up?
Winning Expert and Darth Hideous Team Green. All right. Well, now the tug of war just got a little harder.
Tweety US News is over there. It's orange. There you go.
Yeah, that's orange to you?
That's the way it looks on my screen.
Yeah, it was like a red orange.
Salmon?
Kinda.
They called it salmon.
Well,
I could see that.
Next to Darth Hideous's deep dark red, it looks orange.
Hey, if you came here for the news and we derailed it, I'm not sorry.
Oh, we're
Clumsy, get over. Oh, well, that's
It's all good.
Rick. What the hell, Rick? You got to get your name back. You got to get over to Rumble and see what color you are. Susie. That'd be
Yeah,
dope.
get over
Susie's
there.
fan. Look, Fred is even here. Hey, Fred. I wonder what time it is for you. Good to see you.
So then it's. I do have one article left before we actually go to Rumble. There's the Rumble
that
link.
color.
Everybody go click on that and go bring themselves over there. We'll be there soon.
And freeze.
What the hell did Grim just say? And I just got to. Sorry, I went over to YouTube. So he said, "Look at Dib slinking around like a snake. Bet you made Eve bite that apple." Oh, bitch was hungry. Let her do her thing. Fred, time here is 8:26 a.m. Almost time to fire up the work laptop. Dope. He's in. Clearly, I forgot. Sweden? Why do I want to say that? That doesn't seem right. Tell me where you're from again. No, let me remember. Don't tell me.
Tweety says the channel owner is blue.
No, you're going to be the only blue.
Okay. Well, if the channel owner.
Well,
is
she said that
blue-
with a question mark. Why are you putting it as fact? This is the news, folks. This is where
There
you
is,
get
there
your
is a
news.
question mark, but
This man just fake newsed you. Holland. Wait. Snooze, you lose? Wait, is that you over there, Fred?
let's do this. I'll
What
go
color-
over and say
Fred,
something.
Team Green.
Oh, I'm also blue in Ricatus, so no.
Dude, you got blue.
Yep, I got blue.
I like the purple. Snooze You Lose is also Team Green, whoever that is. You guys are there's kind of a lot of you. Pretty, not very original, guys.
All right. So last article
Oh,
before we go
Susie
Rumble.
is Snooze. Dope. Green. I was hoping you were green. That's awesome. Sorry.
The green sneaky the best.
Good. I'm glad everybody's making their way over there because we're going to be over there very soon. Here you go.
Today?
Yes.
Oh,
Within-
shit. I didn't know that.
Within after this article's over with.
That's where the party happens, is on Rumble?
Then we're not so constrained on what we can say. We can actually say a little bit more and cover some things that we can't cover here.
Oh, like what?
Coof.
I'm going to die of boredom.
No, you're not.
It sounds like it.
Boredom.
I heard what you
Well-
just said, and it sounds like it.
we'll try pepping it up a little bit. Keep
Okay.
it,
Okay,
a
we can do
little
that.
exciting for you.
Maybe Grim will join us. He's
maybe.
drunk.
Maybe, drunk Grim
Yeah.
talking about Coof, and that could be fun.
Mhm.
Charlie in the Chocolate Factory goes woke. Oh no. Sensitivity gurus making huge changes in Roald Dahl's classic children's books to appease the cancel culture mob. There goes our childhood, everybody. Everybody ready for it to go away?
Yeah, I'm done with it.
It's all about erasing history.
So-called sensitivity gurus hired by UK-based publisher Puffin hired scrubbing legendary author of Roald Dahl's children's books from new editions in order to avoid offending snowflake liberals. The changes are so drastic, few readers will recognize them from the original works. Dahl's famous works included Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Big James and the Giant Peach, Matilda, and the BFG. The Oompa Loompas from Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, for example, are now gender neutral. Great. Awesome. The word fat is also disappeared from the book's lexicon to appease body positivity campaigners. Gender neutral and the word fat being removed to actually describe an Oompa Loompa. What? They're little short, little fat orange dudes.
I wonder what they call them. Does it say? They
They're
just
still
said
called-
the
They didn't change the name. They just changed the.
capable.
No. I wonder how they described them. If they just left the word out, or if they're
Oh,
What kind?
right. If you
Shorty
actually grab the
capable.
newer book,
Short and
did they
capable?
just omit the word
The
fat?
shorty capables.
I wish Nerd was here so he could tell us if he agrees with this, because he's short and fat. And I'm saying that lovingly. Don't be mad at me, Chad. I swear. He knows. He actually likes. He likes to be wide because he's actually tall that way. When he lays on his side, he's tall.
lays
At night.
down,
When he
he's
sleeps,
actually
he's
tall.
actually tall. Oh, I made that up.
Well, he can't fall down, and at least we will back up. Now. Playing off yours there, Dad.
Something's wrong with me.
Is this get over yet? All right.
Yeah, it's let's go.
All right. I
The
by no
new-
means endorse that.
Yeah, that was. I'm not with me either.
Just doing my job.
What? I'm orange now, but was green last week. Interesting.
Wait, who said that?
Deanna. Interesting. Who's up for a Karen stream on Thursday?
Hmm.
Fun. Mad Core's
Yeah,
asking. Karen,
Okay.
who? What? Just
Karen who?
in general. In general.
Yeah, good one. Okay.
I love that.
That was some
Are we
new
talking
hot
about
streamer.
the Karen or just Karen's? She's the Karen.
Why hasn't one of these Karens gotten their stream going yet? Well, they actually, I guess they have.
Yeah.
They're just not calling it that.
They'll come around.
Cake has a good question to go along with this particular. Not going to work in original copies all over. The question asked: are they going to recall old copies and burn? I mean, anybody that has an original copy, it's somewhere down in the future, it might actually be worth something because it actually has words that they had removed.
Yeah, I have a dictionary like that.
Right.
I do. It's right here. It has all the bad words in it that they took out.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's full of all the bad ones they put in too.
Well, she finds a bad word in there. The new editions will no longer refer to characters as female. No female characters, huh? Oh, okay. The Cloud Men in James and the Giant Peach are now Cloud People. Okay.
Good, because what if I wanted to be a cloud person and they were just cloud men? I agree with this change. Go woke. Go ahead.
These are just small samples of the hundreds of changes made in Dahl's books. Hundreds of changes. They named a couple. Dahl also becomes the latest victim of an ongoing campaign to cancel children's authors for politically correct purposes. 2 years ago, Dr. Seuss Enterprises bowed to cancel cultural leftists when they discontinued 6 of the namesake books due to racism. Joe Biden fully embraced the effort to cancel the legendary author by not including his books during the Red Cross America Day. Hope you kept up Dahl classics for your children and grandchildren. The new editions will be an awful reading experience. They're just like this is going to be horrible. You're not going to like these books. They removed all the good words. They removed all the the terms of female. They've removed terms of men and made it people. It just, the whole thing is disturbing in itself. You can see the original article that they pulled that off of came from Daily Mail. Not much different from the Daily Mail to the next. But yet again, we're gonna see cancel culture come after yet another
I wonder
set of books that we all grew up to. I mean, I know I read a bunch of Roald Dahl books when I was a kid.
who?
You didn't read James and the Giant Peach, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
I did.
You did?
I
Okay, so
probably did.
see, she read Roald Dahl books as well. Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. There were so many good books that came out of this, and they're going to change them all. They're going to change them all and make them all quote unquote politically correct. Change your mind. It's gross, disturbing in itself.
I mean,
Is it they're doing this on their own? Who's actually behind getting changes done?
Out of all the readings that I've actually gone through to see who's actually doing it, it seems as though it's the publishers. The publishers, like this one here is UK-based publisher Puffin hired a scrubbing legendary author. So it's like they hired somebody to do it. So it's the publishers are like,
there's a business,
right? Let's go along with what this whole culture wants us to go along with.
We're the scrubbers. We're here to scrub. The cleaners are here. Man, yeah, clean it all up.
Oh, look at that. T3's over on the Rumble side. She goes and says something and it comes up pink.
oh my God, I love it. Are you kidding me?
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Okay, I want to sue. I want to be Team Pink. This is ridiculous. Look, it matches her name perfectly.
Yes.
Susie was green, and she's a smoker. What the crap? I guess purple's good. I would have picked purple back in the day. I need to shut up. It just seems so boring compared to that pink.
She went from Team Purple
It
all the
is.
way to oh my god.
Yeah. That sucks. This is gay. Oh, I'm the gay one. Oh well. You know what's
Oh.
weird is that whenever there's like an animal in the dictionary, there's a picture of it. There's dogs and everything. Wonder why they do that.
So we're gonna go away from YouTube. We've been here for 2.5 hours. We're gonna go over. We're gonna shut off the YouTube side. We're gonna stay over on Rumble and Odyssey. We are actually streaming to Odyssey as we speak. I know there's nobody actually there using it, as well as there's nobody on the locals using that. There are other ways. There are other ways to watch us. If you don't like the Rumble app, hit up Odyssey or hit up locals.
Oh, sword.
Huh?
They don't only have animals.
Everybody, make sure that you check out everybody that actually showed up tonight. Jimmy YouTube, Win in Reality, Divinity Said. If you don't know who they are, check them out. Totally worth your time. Thank you, YouTube, so much for the support and love. We'll talk to you all later. Say goodbye to YouTube.
Oh, bye YouTube. Sorry.
Later, YouTube.
Fuck off, Todd. It's Todd.
Piss
Who's the
off.
new guy? Yeah. Fuck you, Todd.